Ready, and they're off and racing for the Juddmonte International Group 1 of 2025. Birr Castle on the outside alongside the white and red colours of John and Thady, who's just restrained leaving the stalls, and that allows Birr Castle to come across to the inside rail and leads, and goes on now by about 3 lengths. John and Thady leads the main group, with Ombudsman behind him. On the inside then is Daris under a little bit of a tight rein. Just behind him, Delacroix has settled beautifully into this, and alongside him is the filly, See the Fire. And Birr Castle has opened up a lead of about 10 lengths then as they pass the 7 furlong marker over on the far side. We've seen this before. The main group, John and Thady, is in front, under restraint still, under a tight rein there from jockey Keita Tosaki. Ombudsman is on his outside, See the Fire next, and they've completely ignored the pacemaker here, Birr Castle, who's going to be running down the side of the course a good 20 lengths clear as they begin to approach, or he begins to approach the home straight. The other 5 runners, only separated by about 3 lengths, are 20 lengths behind him, and Birr Castle turns into the home straight of the Juddmonte International with a very, very long lead. He's gone past the 4 marker, and he must still be 25 lengths clear in the hands of Rab Havlin. What the others up to at the moment, they need to get to work, because Ombudsman has not made a move just yet. Birr Castle still in front. His lead is beginning to get chipped away now, though, as he comes down inside the final 2 furlongs here. John and Thady is now working to close with Ombudsman. Daris on the rail, and then comes Delacroix, who's asked a few questions. On the outside is See the Fire. Still Birr Castle. Can he pull off an incredible upset? He's in front, but Ombudsman is now beginning to chip into that lead and quickens past him in tremendous style. This is Ombudsman's Juddmonte, and he storms home to win highly impressively and wins by 4 lengths. Delacroix in second. Birr Castle head on for third. See the Fire, John and Thady.
Ombudsman even has managed to win the international, the 3rd time for John and Thady together as trainers, many more times John himself. I suppose all's well that ends well would be a way to characterise that race.
Well, Andre very kindly lent us the horse to be a pacemaker, and Sheikh Mohammed agreed to supplement him and bring him over. He's a really lovely, charming horse, actually. And Andre said, look, I'm not sure he'd be the right horse for the job, but if you get him out, let him run along. Give him, don't be hard on him. Rab wasn't. He never hit him with a stick or anything. And I realised when the Japanese jockey took back and the whole field took back, I thought, uh-oh. And when they came round the bend, I said, this is dangerous. And at the 2 furlong marker, I thought, Andre did ask me if I lend you the horse, make sure it's like the Goodwood race. And I thought, here we go again. But luckily, when the racing started after, they started too late after 2. This horse got a phenomenal turn of foot, and William said I went from 2nd gear, boom, straight to 5th. And he went into overdrive and won clearly well from Delacroix, so that sort of settles the Eclipse story, if you like, which is a muddling affair. But the pacemaker was 3rd. So I did think at the 2 marker, this is going to happen again.
Yeah,
Not that our horse was right, as it turned out. He hurt himself in the Sussex, whereas this horse was full of running.
Yes. I thought that the winner has to be marked up, doesn't he? Because he had to bridge that gap, which was much bigger than everybody expected it to be.
This is what I call a group, proper black type horse from France with a turn of foot. And he was cruising along, and then he kicked. And he took another 5 lengths out of the field. So look, we were all's well that ends well, but I can tell you it was a nervous time.
I can imagine. Right, okay. So you've settled the Eclipse argument, you feel. You've shown that the Prince of Wales' Stakes, that's the kind of level of horse that he is. What are you going to do with him next?
Well, the obvious races are, there's the Irish Champion at Leopardstown, there's the Champion Stakes at Ascot. He is in the Arc. We'd hope to think long and hard. I wouldn't want to run him in deep ground. I think he's got that wonderful turn of foot and acceleration, which is hard to show in the heavy ground. So to that extent, we'll see how he is when we get home and take him from there. And we'll look after Andre's horse tonight and send him back to
give him a nice pat.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And would you be tempted by America at all, the Breeders' Cup?
He's got tactical speed. The 1.5 miles there could be a possibility, yes. Yeah, and the fast ground and the turning track. He would get a 1.5 mile round Delmar, no problem. But I always like to see how the horse when they get home, take your time, and then the horse tells you.
Final question, instinct-wise, he's won 2 Group 1s now, 2 of the banner Group 1s, the Group 1s in the calendar. How good instinctively do you feel he is?
We've always thought he was top class from the beginning, but he couldn't race at 2. He had a problem, an injury actually, to be honest about it. And he couldn't run at 2, and then we were careful with him, brought him along gently as a 3-year-old. And we went to, when he went to the races in France where they're nice for the 3-year-olds, the Nurief, which we won this weekend with a horse of similar sort of credentials. And then we went there to the Prince de Range and then put him away for the year, and then we come back this year. Look, he's a very smart horse. There's no doubt when the ground is deep and slow, he doesn't like that.
Could he be the dominant horse here at this distance?
At this distance, he could be, given good ground. Yeah, good to soft, good to firm, but not soft or heavy.
I look forward to seeing the rest of his season. Congratulations, well done for the answer, not so much the working out.
It looked very iffy at the 2 furlong marker.
Well, it was a dramatic edition of the International Stakes Group 1. It's been won by Ombudsman, ridden by William Buick for the Gosdens. So the result looks normal, but the working out wasn't quite as you'd expected it, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was to run a pacemaker, and how he was going to be used on the day, that was going to be decided how obviously the race shaped up, as it always is, but Birr Castle was brought along as a pacemaker, and I think, we've had a couple of races this season where we probably wish we had one.
Yeah.
So, especially the Eclipse. So, today we weren't going to make that mistake again, and we had a plan in our head on how we thought the race would work. And to be honest, I think Rab got the fractions spot on. He got a lead that was worrying. Birr Castle is a proper stakes horse. You give a horse a lead like that around a flat track like York, it's always a danger. So I was thinking this is a bit dangerous, and I was hoping Dan on Decile would, cut the deficit, because obviously he's proven over further, and we thought he would be ridden closer to the pace.
Yes, did you get kind of committed by the Japanese jockey?
Yeah.
Committed,
Yeah, that was what we thought in our head, and anyway, I thought Ombudsman put in a good performance, because I had to cut the deficit myself, and then he went. And then he went again, which is a hard thing to do. What he did today is quite a hard thing to do. I thought so. He was very smooth for him. He was in the rhythm, but he had to chase the race himself. His own pacemaker. And then still to have that finish in him at the very end of the race was amazing. He's got a great mind. He's a beautiful horse to ride. He's got stacks of quality, and we couldn't believe he got beaten in the Eclipse, but it was such a hard race to assess in any shape or form. But today he put it right, and he showed exactly how good he is.
Yeah, and that must be very satisfying, because I suppose there was a doubt after the Prince of Wales' Stakes, wasn't there? Even though he ran so well, and you had to push him kind of into positions, didn't you, in the Eclipse?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's always been a very straightforward horse. So when he won the Prince of Wales, he had to switch, and he chased a very fast pace. He was at the back, so we never thought he had to be ridden like that. He's just a normal horse that can adapt to the race scenario, which he proved today. No, I'm absolutely delighted, and John and Thady had him in great shape, great performance, and yeah.
Congratulations! All was well that ended well. Well done.
Yes, it's always nice when you get it right.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.